Alrighty, YouTube. That was the weirdest. No, not the weirdest way I ever started a video, but it was a strange way to start a video. Anywho, what's up, YouTube? AJ here. Today we're gonna be reacting to that Shigaraki vs Mahito death battle. Y'all know I've been waiting for this for a long time. Anywho, I guess we're gonna dive into. Oh wait, I got stuff I want to say. I already have a prediction on how this is gonna end. Realistically, if they actually fought like the real versions of them, sometimes death battle like to draw it out. Like Mahito's probably gonna end up getting used as domain because like they like showing all their like ultimate attacks in the thing, even if it doesn't make sense. Anywho, realistically, this fight will end in like 3 seconds by Shigaraki, of course. Anywho, we're diving into the video. Sorry about the talking. I'm betting on Shigaraki though. If they somehow make death battle, I've been watching out for over a decade, man. If y'all somehow make Mahito beat Shigaraki, man, I'm losing all of y'all. Like, just kidding. Anywho, let's dive into it. All right, 24 minutes. I like how I do these little preview things now. Should I like go closer? Yeah, I'm gonna go closer. You know? Oh wait, what did that happen? Yes, we're gonna be watching it.
Versus Mahito,
the symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Shigaraki. I've read and watched through all of 𝐋𝚰𝐆 and MHA, by the way. I love both of them, but like this fight, Shigaraki's like destroying, man.
Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet, shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower.
I taught him.
Work.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his League of Villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki,
my boy.
And an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not.
I wonder how far they're gonna go into this like story. Like, are they gonna go past where the anime is right now? I'm curious. They usually do that.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of Decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If Decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
Yo, I'm excited for this.
With the
I'm looking forward to this.
Supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically.
I love that about him.
Like a baby when things
that rubbed off on me throughout my life.
He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right, as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya,
my other boy,
into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month-and-a-half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All for One's personal quack. Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from chud
Make
to
him more.
chud.
That's incorrect. Make him more like a sensei. That is not what happened. They tried to make him more like the perfect Nomu. They explained that in the Heroes Rising movie with 9, and kind of in the manga. They explain it better in the manga, in my opinion. Yeah, they're trying to make him like a Nomu. Physically, like if Shigaraki and All For One wear armor, so Shigaraki's destroying him. Even if he uses Quirks, probably too. Because he's almost as strong as Prime All Might, or he's stronger than Prime All Might. I can't exactly remember the details. I think they're like the same level. Anywho.
Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Surpass. Yeah, that might have been
Power
true.
between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
I've seen that.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for Mahito. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he
I've also seen
might
this one
seem
too.
invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became? Oh shit, more hands.
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence.
There's no erasure in this thing too. He's gonna be a decay with those hands too in this. Like, how is Mahito winning?
As a type of
He's not winning.
armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All For One. So what better
And?
way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk, All For One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All For One has
I'm gonna put a spoiler
hundreds of
warning
them stored up, collected over the years.
in this video. Yeah, definitely.
Quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence.
This hasn't even been animated yet. Some of this
a
stuff.
vestige.
Kind of like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kind
That's
of
how I think Mahito's gonna lose.
Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast.
He has way more than that, but yeah, that's the
telekinesis,
most of the confirmed ones at
teleportation
least.
of others, and the ability to track foes.
Yo, no one's beating me in the MHA pop quiz, man.
Works together, like
No
in
one.
this big-ass
No one.
electric
Unless the
Kamehameha.
clearance. I probably know more than him.
Any vestige stolen or
I probably know more than
destroyed
Hori.
also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's
Why
entire
did you say it like that?
existence was planned from the beginning.
Spoilers. I knew they were gonna mention this. Or I had a feeling.
Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tanko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might.
That was his I am your father moment.
Hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All For One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
I feel like the ending of MHA is gonna make me so emotional when it gets animated. I think only like 3 animes, somewhere under 5 animes that made me like emotional after watching them. Or I guess when they ended, or maybe more than that. I don't know. Can't. My brain's a little. It's early in the morning when I'm reacting to this. So don't want to see his ad. I didn't even pause him and skip it. Alright, Mahito. I like Mahito. Super is way better, but I like Mahito.
Sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
He's cool.
With Robin Hood Gold, you can
Well, I saw him, he automatically reminded me of Shigaki, though.
receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
The privileges
his
of the
look,
very
his
privileged
power.
are no longer exclusive. With
I'm not gonna lie, Shigaki gets kind of his domain, though. Which, that's, I don't know how he's gonna get out of that.
Plus, you also get
Realistically, though, Shigaki can basically, like,
non-retirement accounts.
you know how domains have, like, that dome?
National savings
He can
account.
easily, like,
The
avoid
perks
that.
of the high
Like,
net worth
waste
are
speed.
now available.
Slash
Like, can you see All Might get hit by a domain or Deku?
For his brother Abe.
So, like, Mahito doesn't really have an origin. So, like, how are they gonna...
Since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another
That's when the first juice got to open it. That's up right there.
and congealed, forming
Curses.
over time a living being fueled by
Y'all saw his dirty
malice,
toes.
who believes in nothing
That
but
was
the
mine.
law
Hold on, let me-
of the jungle.
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face,
There we go.
Mahito.
Oh, still clear.
Oh,
Whatever.
I've had people tell me I've become a human
It's
disaster
all
curse
good.
when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the
5'11". He's taller than
deadliest
Shiggy.
to ever
Still taller than him, though,
affect
so
mankind.
it doesn't
He's
matter.
no mere mortal, though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Shigaki's not gonna be able to see him.
Only a life or death
Oh, yeah, that's gonna work.
situation can
Yeah, search. Will he, like, will that work?
person to see
Search
a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by
I wonder how they could
attacks
play
by
Yuji in that
spirit
battle. Who
matter
could he?
like
Who's
cursed
someone that matches him?
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of.
I would say
like
Ichigo,
ghosts,
like,
cockroaches,
that would be like a wash
or my
in
ex.
terms of a fight.
That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But
That's how most animes are.
You see,
And most
curses are
shows in
basically
general.
dumb animals. But Mahito
When it
has
comes to
so
the
much
state
cursed
that's made in the
energy
country, I mean.
that it gave him sentience.
So he was
Wait, what
recruited
is
by
it?
conjunction.
But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he
Yeah, I
was
already knew
recruited
most
by
of the stuff is
conjunction
all the stuff is
alongside other
actually.
special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world.
Go.
In fact,
Destruction
they made
curses.
Mahito their
Disaster
leader.
curses. Disaster
Even
curses.
more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball.
I don't remember showing
Matters,
Bruno's
why
feet
not
that much
have
in the
fun
show, man.
with the slaughter?
What
Really
year?
get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idle transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally
This is gonna be
anything
awesome.
he wants. Like Play-Doh. He can turn
First I was like, why are they making this? It's gonna be a wash. It's still gonna be like interesting to watch
like a
because
bird or fins like a fish.
even fights that one side, they make them entertaining to watch.
Even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last.
Let me make sure my
more
mic is
than
still on.
2 minutes
Okay,
in a
because last
transformation
video, you know what
Oh,
happened with that.
that with one touch. God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively
Sometimes I forget.
disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you.
It's like that one unblockable
And
move
would
in every
require
game.
reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
My boy
Because
too.
not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
Sukuna.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling.
If y'all knew this water is probably gonna be gone by the time
battering him before
this
going
video's
in
over.
for
This
the
is a
kill.
long video
And
too, so
he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give.
yo, like
especially
2021, 2020, whenever that got animated, that was hilarious.
He evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted.
I forgot about that.
Complete with armored exoskeletons
probably gonna be in that,
and arm
mode in this
blades.
step
This
out.
was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing
That didn't even cross my mind.
A true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won.
I feel like they were talking about Mahito longer than
In the
Shigaraki.
world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch.
One of my favorite moments in the
What
show.
do you know? Life
One of.
suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exercising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final
Yo, I'm kinda hyped, hold up.
destruction of another
We should react to more of
human
these.
soul. He may not have been around to see it, but
At least the ones I know of characters, which are 9%. I know most of the people they put on these. Okay. That was a good time to show ads. I think it's about to start now.
Take things to the next level. I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix was perfect for that.
Alright. So it's not gonna be too long.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a death battle champion.
I would if I could. I don't get money for all that though. I love y'all Death Battle. I've been watching y'all for
Thank you for being
over a decade, like I said. I think my first one was the I don't know if it could have been. Okay, I'm more sure that's Mario versus Sonic, the first one from like 2011. Or RoboCop versus Terminator, Goku versus Superman. There's a lot of old ones. The Ninja Turtle ones, they're all fighting before. I don't know what my first one was. It was a long time ago though. I was like 7 or 8. Y'all ready for this Death Battle? I am. I have a freaking. I hope this glare isn't as bad as I think it is. It's like I look like All Might. It's like covering up my eyes. All right, let's go.
All right, the
How
combatants
excited?
are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Oh, they're showing one Justice, one or two. I can't tell which one that was.
Death battle!
Let's go. Who tried to shoot first? It's kind of 3D. I thought it was like. Oh. How is this gonna play out? They gave him danger search. I mean, danger search. Danger sense.
I'd heard of a powerful
It's over, man.
villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick'em.
It's gonna be like the Bowser. That's like that Bowser versus He is not being USJ known. It's more than one. Yo, that's I'm already not liking it, man. How they using each other's like stuff though like that? It reminds me of the Bowser versus Eggman Death Battle, which is probably my favorite one of all time. Alright, let's go. It's the game over. I think I was talking, so I'm looking over here. Yeah, I ain't.
Did you actually just say that? God, how lame!
And you're the one about to kiss him. Just like you tried to do to Yuji or Toto, I can't remember who you tried to do it to. This won't even be hurting Shigaraki, man.
Audition over.
Just touch the ground, man. Touch the ground. Touch the ground. Oh. He has danger sense, so spoiler. But does he have one for all too? He ended up getting one for all. Just with none of his punches will be hurting Shigaraki, man. I'm gonna enjoy it like I do other ones. Oh. Alright.
That all you got?
Oh, I know this is the end. I'm gonna let y'all know if I was right or not.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Hands off my masterpiece.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew All For One was not coming when he did the domain expansion, or at least touched him.
Your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them.
Yeah, I saw him too, just like you do with Superman. You're done, man.
You grow up.
See, this Death Battle, man, y'all are awesome, man. I call it, bro. That was awesome, man.
Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse.
He was searching the Death Battle.
Burst energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally.
Yeah.
However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
Exactly.
He was faster too, considering he could react
By a
to
lot.
light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idol transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
I think I agree.
Which
Yeah,
presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Because all for one.
Would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idol transfiguration?
Or I guess the
Comes
festivities.
down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idol transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idol transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he could
I like how they remade that in this death battle too.
inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how
this
much
is cool.
faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige.
I hope anime ones don't watch this. I feel bad for them.
Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is
I see what you did there.
Shigaraki.
Alright, W death battle.
On Death Battle.
What's this? What's that? Halo? Halo? Master Chief versus Doomslayer. Oh, that makes sense. That's a cool one. I feel like this Rex versus Bakugo would be. I mean, don't really know how to scale that. I mean, we all know how Bakugo's watching him though. Well, he killed a spoilers for him, but he killed a Mark variant, so if he pulls off that explosion, Bakugo's done. But as far as speed, like unless he pulls that off, Bakugo watches. Anywho, I seen this death battle too. This was cool. This came out like what, a year ago, 2 years ago. That was awesome too. But yeah, that's it for this video. Oh wait, actually, hold up. It's something else I want to say. Okay, so there's a lot of death battles there. I don't know if death battle, maybe y'all see this video. Remember when they were called Screw Attack? Yeah, they used to be called Screw Attack back in the day. There's a bunch of death battles I want to see. This video made me think of one on the spot. I think I already had this one thought of before. I want to see Muzan, even though they made this, so they can make this too. They made Muzan. They should make Muzan versus freaking Sukuna. They should make all right. Hear me out on these. Ryan versus Oliver. Oh, Ayana Koji versus Mikey. That'd be awesome. You can't tell, like, if Mikey hits him, it's over. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to hit Ayana Koji because Ayana Koji's Ayana Koji. Who else? Azula versus Dabi. Back in like 2020 when they made the Zuko versus Shoto one, where Dabi was at that point in the show, Azula might have had a chance, but now I don't. Nah, she ain't. Nah. It's still be cool to see though. What else? Toga versus Harley Quinn. Jinx versus Jinx. Oh, maybe Ryan versus Brightburn. That'd be kind of cool. That's better actually. Or no, maybe both. Ryan versus Brightburn and Ryan versus Oliver. Because they made, I know obviously Oliver will win, but like they made this. This was a wash too, so they can make, they can make it. Geez, there's more I thought of before. Can't think of any right now. I guess you could say Superboy versus Invincible. Nah. Anywho, I just wanted to list out all the death battles I think would be cool that I thought of on the spot. I feel like there's more that I could like conjure up in my brain. I can't do them right now. If I think of them while I'm in the video, I'll put them up right here. Anywho, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button. Have a blessed day, fellow believers.